It's a big schus we're zeichet to have Rabbi Grunstein on a night where Baruch Hashem, a lot of simchas, bar mitzvahs, vart, shavarachas, and other things. And it's a big simcha that we get to have Rabbi Grunstein who always ba'ir us to tshuva and ma'asim tovim. Rabbi Grunstein Baruch Hashem has had a hashpah on many people in Bell Harbor, in North Miami Beach, all around the world. And befrat, besides his drushes, his weekly, what do they call it? Torah rant?
Torah
Shmuz. The weekly Torah Shmuz, which is mamish over there, mamish saying the emes la mitoi in front of everybody without any covering up of the emes.
I don't work for you.
What is that?
I don't work for you.
Okay. That's a, yeah, okay. I hear that. So b'siyat d'shmai shall always be zeichatak to be mushpa, affected and nisayr from his words of Torah and Musar, Yashar Koyach, Rabbi Grunstein.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rabbi Singer. It's a big schus, especially during Elul, to say a few words that could possibly be mashpia on others. As Rabbi Yisrael Salanta used to say, it's worthwhile to go to the other ends of the earth to speak to a minyan of Jews, even if the only person you inspire is the speaker themselves. It's kedai. First of all, Yashar Koyach for the Kolo is a harborside Kolo now. It should be Matzliach, my old stomping ground. It's going to be a game changer for the community.
It was your hashpah in Manhattan?
Yeah, sure. It's a game changer for the community, and you'll maybe be able to raise a shtickle money there too.
How to work for him?
There's enough money in Surfside, Bal Harbor, Bay Harbor to support every Torah institution in the world. You should know that.
So maybe you can use your contact.
That's what. I don't have any more. So they tell of a Maisa, the Alter Bacher. So he got this obsession, this fixation in his mind that he wants to live forever. It was driving him meshugah. It was driving him crazy. So he goes to the Rebbe. He says, Rebbe, I can't take it. I got this meshugah thing in my head that I want to live forever. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I can't do anything. It's crazy. I don't know what to do. So the Rebbe said, Beryl, I told you 100 times you have to get married. So you mean if I get married, I'll live forever? He says, no, but those feelings will pass. Okay. What's the connection? So sometimes I feel, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking to the wrong crowd, but sometimes I feel that, Sukkot is geschmack. People look forward to Sukkot, sitting in a sukkah, Daled Mina, family, mishpachah, it's gewaldig. Pesach, matzah, Yayin, the starim, beautiful. Shavuos, geschmack, learning all night, cheesecake, more cheesecake, coffee, it's gewaldig. But how many people are pining, longing for Elul? Maybe here they do, I don't know. I know the Gemara says in Tainus, it's one of the, Yom Kippur is one of the happiest days of the year. It's the Yom Slicha and the Chila v'Kapara. It's gewaldig. But at the end of the day, this time is filled with stress, if you're half serious. It's filled with stress, guilt. I've been doing this every year. I keep saying I'm going to be better, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it doesn't always pan out, and it's depressing sometimes. But that's because we're a shtickle koifrim. I'll fix it, don't worry. It's a shtickle apikursus. What do I mean? Because we really don't appreciate who we are, what we are. We don't really believe, we pay lip service maybe, we don't really believe what Chazal say. What a mitzvah is, what a half a mitzvah is, what a tenth of a mitzvah is, what a sliver of a mitzvah is. The Gemara Sanhedrin, Daf Lamed Zayin. By the way, I'm not telling you any chidushim tonight. No chidushim. Push it. Gemara says, the Mishnah Sanhedrin. This is talking here about when they talk about a capital crime case. They're warning the Eidim that, you can sentence someone to death. If someone dies, if you save a life, it's like you save an olam mole. If someone dies, it's like the whole world was destroyed. Listen to this. It says the Mishnah that Chayiv loymar, listen to the words, Chayiv loymar bishvili nivra ha'olam. He's talking here about the fact that when when they mint coins, so all the coins look the same. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we all follow after Adam, but there's no two people in the entire universe that are the same. No two people have the same DNA. No two people have the same mission. No, this is not the same tachlis. Everybody's unique. And Chayiv loymar, a person is obligated to say, B'shvili nivra ha'olam, that the whole world was created just for me. The whole world was created just for me. We believe that. The sun is a little speck, in our galaxy. There's over 400 billion stars and 50 billion planets in this little galaxy of ours. And there are 200 other billion galaxies to the observable universe, with also billions, hundreds of billions of stars, etc. Do the math. I can't do the math. Do the math. Ad infinitum. And all that this is not hyperbole. This is not trying to be dramatic. This is Chazal. This is Chazal. It's the truth. It's the emes. Bishvili nivra ha'olam. The whole world was created just for me. The entire universe, with all the galaxy, the cosmos, everything, is kedai. Kedai just for me. If you believe that, it's a different level. I'm not scared. Hashem loves me more than anything else. Right? The Ibn Ezra says in Pashas Re'eh, right? Pashas Re'eh, where it says, Yud Dalet Aleph, Bonim atem l'Hashem alekeichem. Ach hashetedu shatem bonim l'Hashem, v'hu ohev eskem yosem me'ha'ov leben. He loves you. No chiddush here. He loves you more than a father loves a child. So, parents, those of us who are parents, what wouldn't you do for your child? You give away all the money in the world. Your blood, everything for your child, everything. He's a tzaddik, he's not a tzaddik. He listens to me, he doesn't listen to me. My whole life I give to him. Hashem loves you more than a parent loves a child. If you're a parent, you know how much you love your child. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves you more. You believe it? The Klayaka says, first pasuk in Re'eh. Okay? Re'eh anoi pinosein lifnechem hayom bracha uklala. So they all ask the kasha. Oh gosh, I don't have too much time here. Re'eh is singular. Lifnechem is plural. Madua. And I think, Parshas Re'eh is the parsha which is the entree really to Chodesh Elul. It's the entree to Chodesh Elul. So says the Kli Yakar, quoting the famous Gemara in Kedushin, the Rambam paskins this way in Hilchos Tshuva, La'olam yidme la'adam ki'ilu haya kol ha'olam mechzal mechza. A person should imagine, that's why it says, Re'eh, use your visualization that the whole world is on a scale. It's half and half. Mechza zechuyos ve'avonos. Half schusim, half averis. Also mitzvah achas hichriya esatzmo veskol ha'olam lekav schus. You do one mitzvah, you the whole world, you tip the whole world in the favor of life. You, your family, the whole universe. And if you do avera, it's the other way around. Really? My one little mitzvah? Really? You believe that? You believe that your one mitzvah? I remember once Harav Binyamin Lumen, the Rosh Yeshiva Torah Chaim, once giving a shmooze. I don't remember the Rosh Yeshiva that he quoted, pre-war Europe. So they had a minhag after davening, so they would say some Tehillim, a kapitel or two of Tehillim for people who were sick. So some of the boys, after davening was over, they wouldn't stay for Tehillim. They went out, whatever. They had breakfast. They did this. They did that. The Shiva saw this. He was very upset. Calls an emergency shmooze. And he says, you know, we have a minute here in the yeshiva that we say a kapitel Tehillim, a little. We say a little Tehillim here afterwards for the Chaylim. Those boys who walked out, now they spoke differently in those days. You're Reitzchen! You're murderers! What? Maybe your kapitel Tehillim could have saved this person's life. And you walked out. That's the emes. Your kapitel Tehillim could save somebody's life. Do you believe that? Yeah, my kapitel Tehillim, right? Not Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, not Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, not Rabbi Yoshev, not the Chofetz Chaim. Me, just me, little me. Because you don't realize who we are. The Lev Eliyahu quotes the Alter of Kelm that it's kedai for a person to come into this world just to say Baruch Hu Uvaruch Shemo, with all the challenges and tribulations of this entire world. It's kedai to come here for one Baruch Hu Uvaruch Shemo. Sounds fantastic. And then he goes on, and 1,000 Baruch Hu Uvaruch Shemos is a very famous piece. It's not even equal to one Amen. And 1,000 Amens is not even equal to one Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah. And 1,000 Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah, says the Alter of Kelm, is not even equal to one word of Torah. What? No, this has got to be a joke. That's no joke. That's what I mean by kofrim. Do we believe it? Your whole life would be different if you believed it. Rav Shlomo Levenstein wrote a book on the life of, it's a fantastic sefer, on the life of Rabbi Leib Steinman. So in there he brings a Maisa from the Yismach Moshe. So he says over there that a tzaddik once came to the kever of Elimelech Milizhinsk. So I don't know how this works, above my pay grade, but it's supposed to be like, when you come to the kever, you want the neshama should be there. So he said, I make an announcement. I'm giving a pruta to the first neshama that could tell Rabbi Elimelech Milizhensk that I'm here. So thousands of malachim were fighting, were running, not malachim, but people were running to neshamas were running to tell Rabbi Elimelech Milizhensk that this person is here. So Rabbi Leib Steinman commented, look at this. All these neshamas are in the Kisei HaKavod. They already have their Olam Haba. So a person comes along and says, I'm going to give a pruta la'aliyas neshama that who's going to be the first one will get that pruta for the aliyas neshmasam, to tell Elimelech Milizhensk that I'm here. Rav Aaron Leib Steinman would give a few, it says here, would give a few prutas every day before davening for the 6 million kedoshim. A few prutas before that for 6 million kedoshim. Now I don't know what prutas means. I don't know if it means agurot, a few shkolim. Pick whatever you want. Say it's a few shkolim. Okay, so you divide a few shkolim by 6 million. What are you going to get? A sliver of a sliver of a sliver of an agura per neshama? What is this? What does this mean? What does this even mean? But said Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman, because you don't understand what a mitzvah of tzedakah is. You don't get it. That's right, a sliver of a sliver of a sliver of a sliver of a sliver. I don't chap it either. But you got to believe it. Rav Chaim Vital, Talmud Muvik of the Arizal. This is brought in Rav Yaakov Galinsky's Sefer, Svarim. I've seen it in other Svarim. Rav Chaim Vital was known, he was the Arizal said that one of my main purpose in this world is to give over my Torah to Rav Chaim Vital. And he used to compliment Rav Chaim Vital, so to speak, on the special neshama that he had. Reb Chaim Vital would say, I mean, okay, it's very nice, but, compared to Doros previously, what's so special? Much greater people lived before. So the Arizal told him, Ki gedulas hanefesh eino tluya kefi ma'aseh adam. The greatness of one's soul is not necessarily decided by the maisim, the deeds of a person. Rak kefi hazman v'hador. It's for the time, the generation. Ki ma'aseh kotten ma'oid b'dor hazeh. 1500s you're talking about. Ki ma'aseh kotten ma'oid b'dor hazeh. Shokul kikama mitzvahs b'doros rishonim. Yeah. It's equal to the many mitzvahs of Doros Rishonim. He says more. Ki below safek yesh lemaisa kotten kayom ma'ila gedola mimaisa godol shel tzadikim harishonim mizman hatanoyim v'hamaroyim. You hear this? I wonder what the Arizal would say in Tafshin Pei Hey in 2025. What's your Maisa Cotton worth? What's your Amen worth? Your Baruch Hu V'Ruch Shemo. The problem is, you see, we have these big hasagas, and you should have big hasagas. I want to finish Shas. I just want to finish the Masechta. Okay, fine. But a lot of times what happens is, I didn't. And it's hard for me, and it's difficult, and coming to Minyan, and I'm coming late, I'm coming this, and I'm coming that, and you get despondent. It's a shtickle years. I've been trying already to come to Minyan on time for the past 10 years. I can't seem to walk in before Ms. Moshiach. Okay, you got to work on that. You do, you got to work on that. But you came in. Hopefully you got the Kaddish after Ms. Moshiach. That's gewaldig. But okay, so you get the Kaddish by your shtabach. You understand what you're accomplishing? You understand what you're doing? Do you understand what your Maisa mean? Your Maisa Cotton is worth, it sounds like a dream. Is this really true? My Maisa Cotton is worth like Maisa Gedolim of the previous generations of Tanoim and Amoraim. This is what the Arizal is saying in the 1500s. I can't imagine what words, what adjectives he would use if he was living in Bisman Hazeh. Let me read to you this piece. This is actually in this week's Torah Shmuz. And it's at a different point. It's the Dirshu Chavetz Chaim, Dirshu edition of the Chavetz Chaim. Page 15, note number 36. On the bottom. I'll read it to you. When the great Chavetz Chaim finished his Sefer on Hilchos Lashon Hara, it's hard for me to imagine the Chavetz Chaim actually asked this question. Pana lehagoyin Rabbi Yisrael Salanta. Rabban shall call B'nai Yisrael goin hagoinim. V'shalu, he asked him. He met Rabbi Yisrael. Obviously, Yisrael was much older than him. He was a young man. Ha'im yesh tayeles b'sifroi. Kivin shemin animna shelo yikoshlu b'nei adam b'lashon hara rechilas. At the end of the day, I worked, I printed, I'm disseminating. But Lamaisa, how many people are really going to stop speaking Lashon Hara? Listen to Rabbi Yisrael Salanta answers. You believe this? What I'm about to say? Veheshivu Rabbi Yisrael, she'af im lo yatzliach, rak lahoitzi anocha miliboy shel Yehudi hadoyev al ovoi Lashon Hara. If all you accomplished, if all you accomplished, the Horavanya, printing the Sefer, the cost, the effort. If you take a look at the biography, his son, Rabbi Yalev, he taught in the beginning, the Chavetz Chaim used to peddle, if you will, these Svarim all over. Later on, he got Shluchim, etc. But in the beginning, he went out himself to try to sell these Svarim. He says, if a Jew reads it, and he gives a krachs. He says, "Oi, I feel bad. I speak Lashon Hara." Not that he stopped. Just, I feel bad. Harei shebishvil zeh levad hoyusa kadai kol atircha v'ha'omel shel ksivus v'hitzoras chibur godol zeh. It was worthwhile, all the effort and all the work and all the expense for this great work. For one yid to give a sigh. You believe that? If you don't, you're a kafir. One cracks. He said, one crack, big deal. I give it cracks. I give a size all the time that I don't do this and don't do that. Okay. The Lev Eliyahu quotes Rav Yitzchak Blazer that the difference between a person who does an Aveira and doesn't give a cracks and the difference between a person who does an Aveira and gives a sigh after the Aveira, he says the difference is greater than Shamayim va'aretz between the two people. You believe that? If you don't, you're a kofar. A whole Yiddish guy would be different. We're so chashuv, and Hashem loves us so much, and we rack up so many schusim. Avada, we got to do more. Of course, you always have to grow, but you're doing gewaldig. Listen to this Igeres Hagra. Igeres Hagra, right? So Milanu Gadol Mehagra. This is the letter of the Gra, is the mission statement for life. So he quotes a medrash. I've never been able to find this medrash, but it's quite well known. The Chavetz Chaim quotes it many times, a few times. B'chol rega v'rega she'adam chayseim piv. For every moment that a person keeps their mouth closed. He means, obviously, a situation where you're about to say something, maybe a little hurtful, a little lashon hara, whatever it is, a machlokes, and keep your mouth shut. Zoiche b'shviloi la'or hagonuz she'ein malach uberya yacholim l'shayir. A person is zoche to a light, a hidden light, that there's no malach, there's no angel, uberia, creation, whatever, entity. Yochaylim l'shar. They cannot imagine. They cannot imagine the reward, the schar that you get for keeping one's mouth closed at a moment of confrontation, lashon hara, I know astavarm, whatever it means, and I kept my mouth closed. You get a schar greater than any malach could ever imagine. It's a malach. Can't imagine it. One time! And here's the clincher. The Stipler said, this is brought in one of Rav Yaakov Galinsky's Svarim on Chumash. He quotes, or maybe it's Rav Yitzchak Zilberstein. It's my two favorites, so I get mixed up between the two. Of course, Rav Yitzchak Zilberstein, I think it's Rav Yitzchak Zilberstein. He quotes the Stipler. The Stipler said, you don't understand the omek here. This means, he says even more than that, but I don't want to tell it to you because you might faint. So I'll just keep it like this. He says that means even if 10 minutes later he said it. Meaning, I had a juicy piece of lashon hara. I'd be the, I'd be the center of attraction if I could say this. It's a good zinger, Everybody want to hear. I said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not saying it. Your reward is unbelievable. Yeah, but 10 minutes later I said it. So what's the point? You said it. That's true. I did say it. But 10 minutes ago, I didn't. And I was struggling with my Yetzer Hara. And I won. I won that battle. I lost the next one, but I won this one. That's why Hashem works. Okay, you lose a battle. Okay, you lose a battle, but you also win battles. And for that battle that you won, you get a schar she'ein kamohu. She'ein kamohu. You have no idea what the schar is. I'll tell you a maisa. Okay, I'll end with this maisa. Maybe. We'll see. Of Yisrael Abu Chatzera, the Baba Sali. So he had a minig. Every Erev Rosh Chodesh, he would travel with his whole family, whole entourage, to Yerushalayim. They would have a special Sudas Rosh Chodesh where he would, whatever, say Divrei Torah and Shiras V'Sishbachis and whatever, all kinds of Halaga things. It's a minig. They did it every single Erev Rosh Chodesh. They would travel into Yerushalayim for the evening. It was a big deal. And he did not have Kabbalah's Kahal on Erev Rosh Chodesh. He wouldn't see people because the family was very busy. A lot of people came. It was food, this, that. All of a sudden, like the van is waiting downstairs already. It's like 10 minutes before they have to go. So somebody, they got to knock on the door. He opened the door. He says, "Look, I like to see the Baba Sali. I like a bracha." He says, "Slicha. I'm very sorry, he doesn't see anybody. There's no Kabbalah's Kahal. Everybody knows there's no Kabbalah's Kahal on Erev Rosh Chodesh." He says, "Please, I traveled all the way from Haifa to Nitivot. I traveled all the way over here. I took bus after bus after bus. In the morning, I didn't eat anything. Please, can I go in and just get one bracha from him?" So the head Rahman, he says, "Okay, go in." So he goes in. He says, "Rebbe, I've been married for a number of years. I don't have any children. Can you give me a bracha?" So he says, "Reb Yid," I don't know if he said Reb Yid, but he said, "Sit down. Sit down." Turns to the Rabbanit, to the Rebbitzin. He says, "Please, serve the first course." What? Serve the first course? She didn't say anything, but we have to leave. We serve the first course. The Baba Sali is like he's got all the time in the world. No. Her great husband said, of course, like all good wives, she listens exactly to what her husband says, right? And she brings the first mana, Gewaldik. And he sits down, and he's singing the book, he's singing Shiras V'Shishbach, giving Divrei Torah. He was pouring Arak, with my Mechutin told me once, he was once by the Baba Sali. He's your father. He was by the Baba Sali, so he told me his favorite. He saw with his own eyes. So there was a Suda, whatever, and he had a bottle of Arak, a regular, like a wine bottle of Arak, wrapped around with cloth, and he was giving people Arak, like this. But it was never ending. It was never ending. He kept on going and going and going and going, and it never emptied. He saw with his own eyes. Okay, fine, whatever. Not important. So he's talking. He says, "Tell me something. Did you go? Did you do tefillas, schoolas?" He says, "Rebbe, I did every tefillah you could imagine. With davening for years, every schoolah you could imagine I did. Everything I did. Everything. Nothing. Rabbanit, the next mana, the next portion. The next portion? We have to go." Doesn't say a word. Everybody there, other people in the house, they don't know, Mamash never saw this before, they don't know what's happening. And he serves the next portion, and again, Shiras V'Sishbachas, Divrei Torah, more Arak, okay, whatever. He's talking, whatever. He says, "All right, Rebbitzin, please, Kinuach Hasuda, some dessert." She's about to plotz. But nobody says a word. She brings in the dessert. After he finishes, the Baba Sali gets up and he says, "Mazel Tov! You're going to have a son, Mitzvah Hashem, next year." And the man walks out. He's mamish. He's zufrieden. He's so happy. It's just you can't imagine. So everybody runs out. They run downstairs. They're getting into the van. They're going in the van. And of course, the $64 billion question: what in the world happened here? No. So Baba Sali turns to them and says, "I'll explain to you what happened over here. I saw right away when he came in. Listen, I don't ask kashas on big people. You know, I saw right away when he came in, the bederech hateva, there's no way this man can have children. There's no way he could have children. But there is one mafteach. That's this gra. There is one mafteach that can open up all gates. So I went, I bedafka, I said, okay, we're going to have a meal. We're testing everybody's patience here, their kas level. And we're going to have a meal. And we're going to take our time. And then we're going to have a second meal. And we're going to take our time. And then we're going to have dessert. And we're going to take our time. And then I saw, nobody said anything. I know this was very difficult. This was very, very hard. This never happened before. But no, there wasn't a peep out of anybody. No kas. People didn't go around looking, they accepted it. So I saw this was a shas kosher. And with this shas kosher, I daven Rabbanu Shalom, please give this person a child, and my tefillas were accepted. Ki ein gedola b'shamayim yosem imafteach hahafloga v'havaras hamidus haposeach es kol hashaorim. It's the Baba Sali. It's the Gra. Zoichel la'or agoner she'ein kol balach uberi yochel l'shah. One time! I speak Lashon Hara. I do things I shouldn't do. It's true, I have to work on it. But don't you minimize the slightest thing that you do. And then Elul is not so, you don't have to be so worried, so nervous. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, you have billions of schools. Avad, you got to be better. There's no question. Got to do tshuva, yeah. One amen, Yehi Shmei Rabbah. One time that I wanted to say something to my spouse, to my children, I was upset. He goes through, he says, we get a little angry, we get a little impatient. You know what schusim? Do you know what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is putting on your platter? He's giving you the opportunity that if I'm able to control myself and I don't say something, who knows the brachos my family's going to be getting? For one time. It's a gra! It's a Vilna Gaon! It's Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should inspire us and help us and motivate us to realize the godless of ourselves and what a mitzvah means, what a half a mitzvah means, what a sliver of a mitzvah means. And mitzvah Hashem that should bring us tremendous chusim to see the Gula Shalem Mashiach Tzidkenu B'Mehera B'Yameinu. Amen.